topic is fine-tuning your focus for the fourth quarter, or for that matter, any quarter. But right now we're talking about the fourth quarter, and this is one of the first times we've ever done a talk on this topic. So just so you have an idea what I'm talking about, you go through, from January all the way to now, and things happen to you, either in your business or in your life or with a staff member or whatever, and it kind of dilutes your focus. Like some of the ones that have gotten to me is, for instance, just simple things. Like my wife just walked into my office, handed me my brand new passport. And I looked at it, and for a minute I went, gee, I wonder where we're going. Like I have no idea that we were getting new passports. So what has she not told me? So I'm off thinking about all kinds of stuff, all right? Then another thing that happened to me is about a week ago, I've had a beard for, I don't know, 42, 43 years, the same beard on my face for all that time. And because I'm a volunteer fire guy, they have oxygen masks that you have to get on your face and they can't leak. So guess who had to shave his beard off a couple days ago? So I'm sitting here on this webinar feeling totally naked and I'm freezing to death. So there's all kinds of little things that just drive you crazy. And then, of course, there's big things, So I want you to give some thought to the following quote, okay? Even if you're on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. And that's by good old Mr. Will Rogers. I mean, does it apply to you in the area of your life now? Life meaning your personal life and your business life. I mean, there's all sorts of reasons why we may be on the right track for getting to where we say we want to go, but we're not getting anywhere. So why is that? And if you sit down and really think about it, we boil it down to three reasons. Reason number one is overwhelm. Overwhelm can be caused by any number of issues, including financial stress, staffing issues, mismanagement of resources. Your daughter has gone out with a guy that you flat don't like, and she's past her curfew and she's still not home. Whoa. Okay? Or you've been out sitting with some folks and you're supposed to be home and you're not. Or your wife finally put a plate of spinach in front of you and you don't want to eat it. So it can be just about any big thing or any little thing, but it takes you off track. So, but no matter what the cause, the more behind you become and the more overwhelmed that you become, it more leads to panic. So you get off track, you get into overwhelm, and then you get into panic, which leads to a scattered, hazy, running in circles way of being. And we all know about that. In that scenario, you may be in action, but it's unfocused, inefficient, and unproductive. Of course, I have never done that. So that's why I thought I better talk to you guys about it, because I am so totally cool. All right, reason number two, all right, is it's all about understanding reason number two. You are distracted. Something gets in the way. Something takes over. We write plans out the first year. We're going to do A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then during the year, few things get in our way, or we like things better, or so on, or we can't read in our plan. So during any normal fourth quarter, there are tons of distractions that keep you off target and keep you from meeting your 2014 goals. But pile the current world circumstances on top, and what is normal? I mean, how can you say this is normal or that's normal? And you have distractions on top of distractions on top of distractions. I mean, before I got on this call, I looked at the stock market, and the stock market's down over 400 points. And it's all over Ebola. It's all over the fear of getting the disease. And now we have 3 or 4 people in the continent of the United States that have it. So everybody's panicked. Everybody, I mean, they even want to kill the animals that the person has that gets the disease. They want to absolutely go and euthanize the animals. I mean, give me a break. So for whatever the reason you have lost focus and even given up on your 2014 objectives, there are distinct lessons you need to take to heart in order to give up your overwhelm. And you need to get unstopped and discard distractions that are in your way. Okay. Then the last thing is, the first one was overwhelmed. The second was you get distracted by your circumstances and your own head. And the third thing is you just get plain stopped. Like, you're walking around in tight circles. You don't know why. You can't figure it out, but you just keep walking around in a tight circle. With the year-end looming in the background of everything you do, it's not uncommon to look for where you've been and what you've accomplished and haven't accomplished, and put off what you've been trying to do until the beginning of the next year. That's your mind talking to you. We take on the attitude of, if it hasn't gotten done by this point in the year, it isn't going to, so why bother? That's your mind talking to you again. But the truth is, if you're thinking this way, you have allowed your mind to absolutely stop you. And then you get to act surprised. Oh my gosh, my mind did me. So there's 2.5 months left until the end of this year. You have plenty of time to get yourself restarted and back on track if you choose to. That's spelled CHOOSE, choice, choose. Okay? So you have to really look at it that way. If you haven't done what you said you were going to do, get recommitted and get her done. The first thing you have to do in order to reset or fine-tune your focus and remember is, in the remainder of the year, to retune and reset your focus for the remainder of the year, you have to reset your passion. You have to get excited about your life. You have to get excited about what you promised to do. You have to get excited about what the results of your promises are going to give you. So when you allow your focus to be buried by all of the reasons why you aren't going to achieve something, you also lose sight of why you set the goal to begin with. Remember, you don't set goals easily. You set goals because they need to be done. And when you lose your passion, and in order to fine-tune reset your focus for the remainder of the year, you have to reset that passion. All right? And to reset your passion is to choose to get it done no matter what. And you don't listen to anybody. You don't listen to your head. You take it on. You write it down. You put it in your face. You ask for accountability, and you get her done. I mean, think about it. What originally lit you up about the objective you set for yourself at the beginning of the year? Remind yourself of why you want what you want. Remember way back then? It was at a time in your thinking when you really, 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 really wanted what you wrote down. And now it's gotten to be somewhat diluted, okay? So you have to get back to really, really, really want what you want and make getting there by the end of the year a bit of a game. I mean, you just write down a date and go get it. Had fun with it. After all, if you're having fun, if you're not having fun, well, I guess if you are having fun, what's the point of doing it? The point of doing it is laughing your way all the way to the bank, and the bank could be accomplishment, okay? Remember your plan. Get it out and read it. Now, a lot of times we write a plan and we put it on our desk, or we put it on it's the only piece of paper on the top of our desk, and all of a sudden this giant stack of paper is on top of the plan. So if you find in rereading the plan that you don't want what you wrote anymore, that's no problem. You can change your mind, but make sure it's for the right reasons and not simply because you are stopped by your circumstances and you're stopped by your very own head. Remember I've said many times in many of my talks that much of the things that you're going to deal with, the negative things, the being stopped things, comes from your own brain. Our brain is designed to keep us from living into a space that we haven't been to before, or your brain hasn't been to before. So your own brain's going to try and stop you from doing something you haven't done before. So get used to it. Talk to it. Say, hey, nice try, brain, but you didn't get me this time. Ha, 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 ha. All right? So you got to learn also to clear. You got to learn to take care of what your head makes up. You got to learn to dump stuff that doesn't work. Okay? You got to remember to read your plan. And gee, what's a good way to remember to read the plan? Put the plan on the wall in front of you. at work, at home, in the bathroom, on the refrigerator. I would say put it on your dashboard, but that could get a little dangerous. All right? Once you are clear about what you really, really, really want, and by when you want it, the second thing you must do is fine tune your focus. Make a conscious choice. Now, here we go again. Make a conscious choice, capital CHOICE, to be in action in your own behalf. This isn't something that you want to get other people to do for you or to do on your behalf. It's something you do, and you take the lead, and you run the lead. You are the only person who has a say in how your life turns out. You're the only person who has a say in how your year turns out also. I mean, duh, what a concept. Can you get that? Once you make the conscious choice to be in action about anything, as long as you decide you really, 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 really want it, you have to make a firm commitment to keep going and to do what you say you're going to do by when you say you're going to do it. Okay? A conscious, firm commitment. All right, the issues that have scattered your focus up to this point aren't going to magically disappear. Remember that. They work to scatter you, and they'll work their butt off to stay in your mind. It's really hard to get rid of them, which is why, all right, you have to make a firm commitment to not only get refocused, but to stay that way. Think about that now. You have to make a firm commitment to not only get refocused, but to stay refocused. That's a tough one to do. The fourth distinct lesson I want you to learn in order to fine-tune your focus as we're near the end of the year is you must have a team. Now this, you have to understand me, I'm not saying this just because I teach teamwork. I'm saying this, you can't do what needs to be done at this time of the year without a team of accountability, a clearing team, a team that you can use wherever you find yourself defaulted in action, all right? I've said hundreds, if not thousands of times before, if you could get to where you were going without a team, you would be there already. I'll say it again. Everybody get excited. Okay, you ready? Put your ear real close to the microphone. Here we go. If you could get to where you were going by yourself, you would be there already. With everything that's going on in your life, your business, your community, and frankly the world, you must, absolutely must, have a team that holds you accountable for moving, for getting out of your head, for actually having the life you say you want, for getting what you say you want. Or in order to get what you say you want, and by when you say you're going to be there, you have to give those answers or those wants to your team and say, okay, team, hold me accountable for this. And then when they do, you can't kill them off. You got to say thank you and go get them. When you have a team that has permission to hold you accountable for doing what you say you're going to do and for being who you need to be in order to get there. Now, that's a biggie. That's the being thing again. Okay? So when you have a team that has permission, that's the key, to hold you accountable for doing what you said or you say you're going to do and for being who you need to be in order to get there, you have a team that helps you stay out of the I don't want us or the distraction or the overwhelm or the being stopped. I mean, let's face it, the issues that have gotten in your way up to now or at this point are not going to go away anytime soon. But if you have a team around you that can help you pull your head out of these stops, I almost said something else, you can have a better chance at staying focused and on task, okay? On task. So now, if you were going to get to where you wanted to be in life and you thought you could do it by yourself, heck, you'd be there already, and you're not. And why is that? Because you can't. No one can. You're not broken. You're not less than. You're not stupid. You don't have a brain tube. All right? Nothing. Absolutely none of that is the problem. The problem is where you're going is so big, nobody can get there by themselves. You have to have help. You have to have a team. You have to give the team permission. And then when the team does hold you accountable, you can't kill them off. Okay? You have to say, oh, thank you. All right? So let's face it, the issues that have gotten in your way up until this point are not going to go away, ever. But if you have a team around you that can help pull your head out of these stops or other places I could think of, you have a much better chance of staying focused on task. So now that you have the 4 keys of fine-tuning your focus, how do you stay focused and committed amongst all that you have going on? So 1 is passion. Number 1 key is passion. You have to get your passion back for what you say you want to do at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year. 2, and equally as important, as you were at the first of the year, you have to get back now, and you have to really, 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 really want what you want. And you have to choose action. 3, it's commitment. You have to get fully, unstoppably committed to get her done. And 4, you have to build a team that helps you get rolling when you're stopped. All right? Now, here's some tips for helping you to stay focused and committed to getting what you say you want by when you say you want it. Now, these are going to sound like, gee, what's he talking about? He's gone off on a disarray that doesn't seem to tie into the talk here today. All right? But the number 1 thing that I want you to understand is you have to take care of you. You can't really, really, really want what you want and have to get recommitted all the time and have to be held accountable for doing sometimes what you don't want to do. And that's on top of what you're already doing, unless you're healthy. So you may not think you can afford to take the time to recharge your batteries, but frankly, you can't afford not to. You have to take the time daily to do something for you, something that lights you up, gives you your physical and or mental energy, has to get you going again, has to, it's got to remind you why you're on the planet and what the heck you're doing here. Without this daily recharge, all right, you end up stuck again really quick. I mean, it's like, I joined the fire service here up in Montana about 5 months ago, and I'm 70 years old. And I've got a crew of people that are about 55 to 60 years old. Then I've got a crew of people that are 25 to 30 years old. I call those the young buckwheats. And I'm trying to keep up with the young buckwheats. And I went to some trainings where you had to lift fire hoses and carry people out windows and do all kinds of stuff. And I got real quick that if I didn't find a job that would work for me, a lot of those fire guys were going to die. That's supposed to be humorous, by the way. I hope you were laughing. I'm just kidding. But it's all about understanding that your head has to be clear, your body has to be clear, your strength has to be at its max, all right? You've got to be energized, and you have to be clear thinking, okay? So that's first and foremost. Second, leading into clear thinking, you have to be able to clear. Now, I don't know whether some of you know about clearing. Some of you on this call today, I've been coaching, so you know what clearing is. And clearing is all about getting out of the way anything that's in your way from getting done what you need to get done, okay? Like before this webinar, I had to clear with Beth about some stuff that was going on in my life so I could be 100% present to being the best speaker I could be for this webinar. And so I just, whatever was on my mind, I gave to Beth, okay? She's about 4 inches shorter than she was when we started, but she'll grow out of it, all right? So you can either journal, exercise, meditate, verbally clear like what I did. And these are all excellent ways to keep your head from taking you over. All right? Do you remember how excited and focused and committed you were when you made your original goals on January 1st? You need to clear everything that's and you have identified that's in your way from that time to now. Get it out of the way, because all it is mind chatter. Give it up. Write it down on a piece of paper and throw it away. Okay? All right, then next. So now, first we had taking care of yourself. Next we had clearing, dumping all the junk that your mind puts on you. Then you have to have your written plan, all right, with clear by when dates. Now, that's a plan that you've already written, so this isn't hard to do, all right? You've already got a plan that's got clear by when dates, and that's what's got you, is that by when dates that you wrote, 5 or 6 or 7 months ago, are past, or they're coming up pretty quick and you're way behind the 8 ball. So 9 times out of 10, missed goals, stagnant plans, or unmotivated teams are the direct result of not having any by-win dates on a written plan. If you write down, I want, I really, really want, I really, really, really want, no kidding, want, A, B, C, D, and you don't have a by-win date, that whole I want business is going to disappear. Without a date, you're not going to get there, all right? A plan without a date is a tremendous way to get absolutely nothing done. Makes me nuts. Because without a date, all right, what you really, what are you really committed to? Nothing. Take a look. Recommit to doing what you say you're going to do in writing. Include by-win dates. Underline that. Include by-win dates and ask for the help and accountability. That's where the team comes in. Okay? Now I want to talk to you a little bit about what I call the power of by-wins. Now, I have purposely peppered this entire presentation today with an emphasis on by-win dates. Why? A by-win date is the #1 most powerful tool you have in your arsenal for getting and staying on track and focused towards your goals. The #1. #2 is team. But #1 is a by-win date. And of course, a by-win date, I mean a date by when you say it's going to be here or be done or be complete. You can make lists out of your lists and review them until the cows come home. But people who accomplish great things have a plan of action that includes dates by when they are going to be committed to doing what they said they're going to do. Without the dates, you got nothing. Okay? So now, in conclusion, always love it when I get to this part because I know I got questions coming up, right, guys? Okay? In conclusion, there are nearly 2.5 months until January 1 of 2015. For every moment you put off doing what you said you were going to accomplish in 2014, you miss a moment of opportunity. You lose. You miss opportunities to grow personally and financially. You miss opportunities to learn what you didn't know. You miss the chance to teach and make a difference for others. Boy, that's a biggie. You miss out on the fun that awaits you. Knowing's the booby prize. The most fun you can have is not knowing when it's going to happen. And the one thing I've learned is not to waste a day, a moment, or even a breath. Only you have a say in how powerfully you live your life. The calendar and the upcoming holidays don't have a say. Family commitments don't have a say. The economy doesn't have a say. The health of the world doesn't have a say. All the junk going on in the world doesn't have a say. Only you have a say. So what do you say? What do you choose? Write it down and live with it. Put a date on it. Give it to your team to hold you accountable. And then do what it says. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I had a blast on this one. Okay, Beth, what you got?
So let me go to the questions that we have. And while I'm pulling these up, Clay, can you all see the information on the new ebook?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a brand new ebook out, free ebook. All right. And it's something Beth and I have been working on for quite some time to put together. And we put it out to some respected test readers, and they loved it. So I request that y'all download this book. It's free. And read it, and please give it to your wives and children or husbands and children. Give it to your coworkers. I want the whole world to have this. And maybe, just maybe, we'll make a difference with 1 or 2 folks out there. Okay? So please download it. Please give it away. Or give it away my website and tell them to go to the free page. I'm not going to try and sell them anything. The only thing I'm going to ask for is they give me their email address and name and contact information. But I just want a place to run away to in case my wife gets mad at me. So that's the only reason.
But the link to that ebook to download it, there is a link right on the homepage, so y'all can grab it there. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. But there are a few questions, Clay, so I'll go ahead and get started with those.
Wait, I just figured out why my wife gave me my passport. Maybe I'm going to be told something after this show. Oh my God.
I can't wait to hear.
I'm gonna have to move to Germany. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so the first question is has to do with the taking care of you that you spoke about. What are examples of easy things that you, Clay, do to take care of you?
Well, I live in Montana up at 7,000 feet, and I've got this wonderful road out in front that goes uphill for a whole mile. So I get out there twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, and I walk up that hill and turn around and walk back down. And since I've got my walking sticks, I can really set the pace for how I want to go. And it's good to really work my cardiovascular system. And I found that's better than lifting weights or doing stretches or doing all that stuff. To get my heartbeat really going, really flushes out all the bad juju in my system. It also, I found, makes me extremely cute.
So do you still spend time doing nothing?
Up here, yeah. No, you have to understand, the whole front of my house is all glass, and I'm looking out at the Bridger mountain range through a bunch of really wonderful, big, 100-year-old trees. And we have black bear, brown bear, elk, male and female. We have all kinds of different animals and rabbits, and you name it. And I have about 3/4 of an acre of lawn, and they love to just get out in the middle of the lawn, just sit there and lay down and rest. We have deer, we have white-tailed deer and mule deer, and you name it. And our house seems to be the place to just rest up before things happen. And it's getting ready to snow here, so they're all coming down and eating all the leaves and doing all kinds of things. So yeah, just sitting down and watching nature is probably the most peaceful thing I do, besides being in love with Susan.
So the taking care of you portion of what we talk about for staying focused is something that doesn't have to be hard. It really can be just about simple things that just refresh your mind and body.
Oh, sure. Like I have a lot of clients that love to run, or I have one client that he has this bicycle that he's a stump jumper. So he jumps from one stump to the next. I think he's not even a fruitcake, but that's what he does to rest, and he loves it. And when he comes back from stump jumping, he's raring to go.
Awesome.
Little humor there.
All right. So the next question is, this person is thinking about their co-workers. It says, I'm wondering, what is the best way of holding a teammate accountable, even if they haven't asked me to?
Well, you have to show them the value of team and accountability. And you have to tell them a story that's gone on in your life and how you weren't successful in getting what you wanted until you allowed team and then that team to hold you accountable for getting what you said you were going to or that you wanted. So it's all about telling them your story first, and then you have to wait for them to say, I think I'd like that myself. How do I do it? And then that's how you share with them how to get it done.
Okay.
And it can't be done on the speaker's clock. It's got to be done on the listener's clock. You cannot force someone to take on a team. People have to get big enough to understand the value of a team. They have to get big enough to understand that the reason they're stopped is because of who they're being, not who the world is being.
So it's kind of about, if I may say, kind of a little bit about being who you want other people to be, kind of leading by example.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this next one I absolutely love. It says, I often refer to chaos that overwhelm causes to a dog chasing after its own tail. Like you said, they're in action but running in circles. And since my dog is right here at my feet, making me crazy right now, that comment made me giggle. So do you have any advice for snapping somebody out of their frenzy?
Well, first thing you have to do is you have to get them to realize that they are running after their own tail, that they are walking around in a circle, that they are in a frenzy. If you can't get them to understand that, then they can't hear you. So the first thing you gotta do is ask them to give you what they're accomplishing by being who they're being. And that'll stop them cold in their tracks because the answer they come up with, they're not gonna like. And then you need to ask permission to help. Don't start telling them what to do until you have permission. Don't overwhelm them with fixes. Just get them to a place where they can understand that you understand and you're not about making them do things a certain way or your way. And then very slowly over time, have them start doing certain exercises that will get them grounded again and get them to a place where they can speak what they really, 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 really want and by when they want it. And then you help them get the first one. After that, they'll understand what you mean.
Mm-hmm. And I would just like to add, share this webinar with them.
Oh, yeah, good idea. In fact, Bethy, I'd like to ask, when are you going to do a webinar?
Oh, I know everybody wants to hear from you. I'm just the cute sidekick.
Yeah. Okay, guys, you know what you got to do. Send in all the emails, ask her when she's going to do one.
Well, that is it for our questions, Clay. Thanks, everybody, for being here. You will have your webinar recording, fingers crossed, by the end of the day tomorrow. If not, you'll have it on Monday. If you have any questions or there's anything that we can help you with, please don't hesitate to call Clay or myself, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, everybody.